Hey guys, in today's video we're taking a look at iOS 12.2 Beta 3. As I usually like to do, I like to bring a follow-up video 2 days, maybe 3 days after the beta is released. That gives me time to test the battery, the performance, any bugs, any additional new features and changes, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. Starting with the TV control option in Control Center here. When you 3D touch, you see that we have a brand new controller that's very similar to the real-life control on the Apple TV. So if you own an Apple TV, this control here are going to be very familiar. You have your navigation here, your trackpad if you will. You have the TV selection right here where you can enable the TV to turn it on, play and pause. You have the dictation button, search, and then the menu button. Again, very similar to the real life control. I like it a lot. It's got like a dark theme to it, so it looks really cool. You can also select the television up top here, and you see it says living room, which is currently selected, and I can start navigating and using it just like I would with the standard controls that come with the Apple TV remote. This next one is very minor. Inside of the news application, Apple now uses the actual Apple logo and the word news to tag their news application. Unlike before they would use the actual Apple news right there. You see here now it's just the logo and then the word news. So minor change within the UI there for the Apple News application. By the way, you no longer get the weather up top right, which I'm a little bit annoyed by. Another minor UI fix that Apple did with iOS 12.2 Beta 3, you may remember from last week where I showed you that the volume, when you put the volume up, the HUD would just say volume. It would only control the volume for like media. It wouldn't actually control the ringer. You see now it says ringer, and I can go back into settings here and I can go to the actual sounds category, turn this off. Now it should say volume. When you turn that off, it should say volume. There it is. That's the volume controls for the media. And if you toggle this on, now it would say ringer, and it does say ringer. So if you remember last week's video, this was a little bit of an issue where you couldn't really put the ringer up unless you went directly to settings and adjusted those settings there. So I'm not quite sure how many of you have seen this prompt, but it says replace what is playing on this Apple TV with the selected content. So yesterday I was watching the keynote for the Galaxy S10, and I was streaming that using the Safari browser, and then I went over to check something on YouTube, and I went to stream that to the Apple TV using the same device. And it's the first time I see this prompt. Usually it would just switch over. Maybe it's just me, but it's the first time I see this prompt here for when you're going to change the actual content on the Apple TV using the same device. I'm not quite sure what Apple did with iOS 12.2 Beta 1 and Beta 2 because it was sluggish. There was a lot of freezing. Even turning off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi would completely freeze the device. But that all changed with Beta 3. And also the battery. The battery was terrible on Beta 1 and Beta 2, but now we're back to at least 7.5 to 8.5 in some cases of on-screen time with the battery. So I'm really happy to report that the battery is back to its normal state on the latest beta. And as usual, I like to run a benchmark for you guys just to see the latest numbers just for kicks. I know these don't mean everything, but let's run the numbers and see what we get. Single core score 4824, multi-core score 10,862. So those numbers are looking okay. The performance is there, the battery is back, and a lot of the old problems have been resolved. So I'm happy to report that iOS 12.2 Beta 3 is a step in the right direction. We could see another beta or two before its official launch. I'm anticipating this software to be released anywhere from the first week of March to the second week of March. So we may see one more beta, a week, a space in between with no releases, and then an official launch sometime in mid-March. So we'll have to wait and see. Depends on how many betas Apple continues to release for this software, but I'm thinking one more, and then we'll have an official release in the next following 2 weeks. So there you guys have it. Just a quick follow-up on some additional new features and changes, battery and performance as always. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.